Alright, in this video we're checking out the HG-LRC Veyron Cinewhoop, and this is yet another one that's from all of these drone companies. They're just throwing out a bunch of these Cinewhoops. And this one here, I think they've made improvements over some of the older ones, and there's a few things that are kind of weird as well. I'll explain all that here in this video. Pretty typical build setup for these Cinewhoops. In this case we have a carbon top plate like this, and also on the bottom, and all of these standoffs here that hold the top and bottom plate together. And obviously on the bottom plate you got this setup here for mounting the motors and your flight controller, in this case the receiver and XM Plus. Comes with a Caddx Ratel camera, the flight controller in here, which is going to be pretty impossible to see, is the Zeus 35 all-in-one. It's a single 20 by 20 board, 40 amp, 35 amp, 400 EC, therefore flight controller, and then the video transmitter is a separate board. It's the MT VTX that I reviewed maybe a day or two ago, a 20 by 20 board, and that is it for your electronics. You have your camera, one board for your EC flight controller, and then you have one board for your video transmitter, receiver back here, and then you got your motors. The motors are, I think they're 1408s. And it's kind of hard to see there, but they're 1408s, 3600 kV, and this is the 4S version. If you get the 6S version, they'll come with 2400 kV motors. This is the analog version. If you get the other version, which has the Vista system, I think that's currently on pre-order. That's obviously the DJI digital system. That is also available in 4S and 6S, so it's basically 4 versions. So what's kind of different and unique about this one compared to like the Bumblebee or the Taycan or some of the other ones out there, this one has props that are very close to the ducts, and it's not really going to come out too well on camera here, but the distance between the duct and the end of the prop here, which is your standard 3045 bullnose prop, is closer than a lot of the others. So I think this does make it a little bit more efficient than the others. But what's kind of weird is that it has a 3D printer part here on one part, but then over here on the inside it's just foam, and this foam does move in and out, and you can see here I kind of push it in and out like this, and if it moves around it does rub against the props, and you'll hear that noise. So you'll have to push this back in a little bit. So I'm not sure why they didn't just put a duct all the way around. I think they did it to save a little bit of weight. Not sure if that really helps a whole lot or makes that much difference, but I'm thinking that having the duct all the way around is going to actually make it even more efficient than having this foam part here, which is flexible and moves around a little bit, and you have to make sure that's not rubbing. And the other thing that they didn't do is they didn't shape the duct so that it actually provides more thrust coming out of the bottom. So I think that the shape of the duct is important as well, but it's just a straight wall. So while it is closer to the wall, the duct shape itself, I don't think it is actually increasing the thrust anymore. I think it does make it a little bit more efficient than some of the other models out there. So the antenna that they're including on here is their circular polarized hammer antenna, and comes on this little mount here in the back, which you can also mount a crossfire antenna if you want back here, and it is pretty flexible, so it's pretty good. So if you hit stuff, it's not going to snap off, as you can see right here. So that's a good design. I want to see more of that in future designs. That'd be kind of nice. Now they did include this super angled GoPro mount. It's like for a GoPro Hero 7, which I don't have, so I don't use these mounts anyway. But they told me that they're going to correct this. It's going to be more like 10 to 15 degrees on the actual shipping mounts. This one, I think they just kind of put this out in a rush and realized that the angle is just way too much for your typical Cinewhoop. No one's going to fly that fast. Not a big deal. I just put my little RunCam 5 here on some foam and a moderate amount of angle, maybe about 10-15 degrees, and then I matched angle with the Caddx Ratel, and then I'm just using an 850 4S LiPo. You just have the camera on a battery strap like this. There's a piece of carbon here you can run the battery strap under, and then they have a sticky pad here, grip pad for your battery. Alright, so let me see if I can get the weight to show up here on camera. This is 258 grams. I'll just put the other videos down in the description, as to what the other ones weigh. I don't remember offhand. I'll have to watch those other videos. So with the 850 Forest I flew this with, coming in at 365, and then with the Runcam 5, we're coming at 430. So I think it's a little bit lighter than the other ones altogether with everything on top. Anyway, so overall I thought the performance and flight characteristics and the tune and everything was pretty much in line with a lot of the other ones out there, from Flywoo, iFlight, Diatone. Obviously the form factor here and little minor changes in the design elements do make some difference, but not super noticeable. It's fairly close. I do think that having the prop close to this part of the ducture does seem to help a little bit. The flights did feel like they were a little bit longer than what I remember from like the Mega Bee or the Bumblebee. Take that with a grain of salt. I didn't really do scientific testing on that. I'm thinking that the differences are pretty minor, maybe another 15-20 seconds of flight, so not a huge difference. Anyway, here's some more flight footage. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Alright, it's a bit windy again today. Flying totally stock factory PIDs and rates. If you guys are looking to get some more smooth footage from your Cinewhoop, I would recommend lowering your rates, but I'm just going to fly this on the factory. I think it's just default Betaflight PIDs actually, what these are. And I'm just going to see what the tune's like. So, not a great day to fly this. It's pretty windy. If you're wondering if this can do flips and loops and all that, it can. It's pretty loud, just like the other Cinewhoops in this class. And you could see what the wind was doing when I did that little power loop there. It almost put me into the tree. But I'm just going to fly this kind of further away. I'm on 100 milliwatts on this VTX. This is the new VTX from HGLRC. And their hammer antenna. Pretty good reception through all these trees and everything. I got no special patch antennas on, just two omnidirectional antennas. See if I can get through this gap here. The wind is just wreaking havoc here. It's pretty tough. See if I can do better, try and stay low to the ground here. As soon as I bring it closer, you can hear how loud it is. It makes it difficult to hear my voice on the microphone. It has power. You can definitely do acro if you wanted to, but honestly, with the ducks and everything and all the wonkiness that happens, it's not really suited for that kind of flight. And obviously with the Caddx Ratel camera on here, you can see plenty of detail. Look at all that detail in the sky. Really good wide dynamic range. Definitely still my favorite camera. And the flight time is pretty decent on this. I'm only running a 850 4S. You could definitely put a heavier battery on here, and in windy conditions it'll definitely do better with more weight. You see I'm already on their OSD it's on time, so I think it's a little bit less. I think our flight time is actually probably about 4 minutes now. 14.5 volts. I'm going to probably land here pretty soon. You guys can see what the flight is like, and I'll probably show some other footage on other flights in this video. But yeah, this wind is not good, especially for something with these ducts that are going to be with the wind hitting it. Flies fine, good control. The tune could be better. It's not perfect, but again, it is windy right now. And I think flying a heavier battery would be better for these conditions. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this setup. I think that it is a little more efficient than the other ones because the props are closer to the duct. So I think we're seeing a little bit more flight time than I would see on some of the other ones that we've seen, like the Bumblebee and the Taycan, for example. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Talk to you guys later.